For years, we've all been taught the exact same thing. Collect those business cards, hit connect on every single person you meet online, and just cast the widest net possible. The old saying goes, your network is your net worth, right? It kind of implies that volume is the whole shebang. But today, in this explainer, we're diving into research that literally flips that entire idea on its head. We're looking at the science of strategic relationship cultivation. Basically, it's the idea that doing less, but doing it way more intentionally, is the actual secret to supercharging your career. Let's get right into it. So let me ask you, are you suffering from relational exhaustion? Really think about that for a second. Think about the quiet, creeping stress of trying to keep tabs on hundreds of contacts, or the absolute fatigue of going to endless, superficial networking mixers. And then there's that lingering pressure to constantly stay in touch with people you, frankly, barely even know. If just the thought of managing your professional network makes you want to take a nap, well, you are absolutely not alone. The source material we're breaking down today explicitly calls out this modern phenomenon. Relational exhaustion is a very real, very draining trap.
So, Section 1. The networking exhaustion trap.
We really need to actively debunk this totally exhausting myth that having more connections automatically hands you more opportunities. It just doesn't. On one hand, you've got the old school approach, broad networking. This is all about high volume. It's like collecting superficial contacts as if they're trophies on a shelf. It sucks up a massive amount of your time and emotional energy, but honestly, it yields surprisingly little return. But then, on the other hand, we have intentional cultivation. This is the game changer. It's entirely about nurturing deep, strategic relationships. And the relief here is just palpable, isn't it? You don't need to know everybody. Actually, scratch that. You shouldn't try to know everybody. You just need to deeply know the right people.
And there's a highly practical, scientifically backed reason for this shift. We have human limits. There is a literal hard cap on the number of ties any one of us can successfully manage. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar famously pointed out that there's a cognitive limit to the number of people we can maintain stable social relationships with. The magic number usually thrown around is about 150. So spreading yourself too thin across hundreds of random secondary contacts isn't just tiring. The data shows it's actually detrimental. Neglecting your deep, trusted relationships because you're running around chasing new ones can literally lead to career derailment. By trying to be connected to everyone, you inevitably dilute your actual influence with anyone.
Moving on to Section 2, the 80-20 connection rule. Now, if we treat human relationships with the same rigorous efficiency as a data model, we see something completely fascinating. Notice how a massive 80% chunk of your results and opportunities is generated by just a tiny 20% slice of your connections. What we're looking at is the famous Pareto principle applied directly to your professional life. Think about that. 80% of the value you get from your network, the unadvertised job offers, the vital career advice, the high-level introductions, it all comes from just a tiny fraction of the people you know.
Okay, Section 3. Finding your power nodes.
So who exactly makes up that crucial 20% slice of the pie? Well, they're what our sources call your power nodes. Power nodes are basically the influential or highly supportive figures that are already sitting right there within your existing circles. That's the best part. You don't necessarily have to buy a plane ticket and fly across the country to some awkward mixer event to find them. They are often people you already have an organic connection to. Finding and focusing your time on these specific folks, that is the ultimate antidote to relational exhausting.
Let's break down exactly what to look for when you're trying to identify these individuals in your own life. Sure, a power node is influential and extensively connected, yes. But just as importantly, maybe even more importantly, they are deeply supportive. They actually care about your growth. They have a vested interest in seeing you win. Often, these people take the shape of former managers who mentored you, maybe professors whose research you helped out with, or established industry experts who have taken an interest in your work. These are the individuals whose single phone call, recommendation, or piece of private advice can literally alter the trajectory of your entire year. The core takeaway I want you to remember from this explainer is that a few strong, rock-solid relationships with these key professionals will provide vastly more concrete guidance, actual job or internship options, and substantive career growth than hundreds of superficial ties ever could. It is a massive quality over quantity argument, backed by the reality of how opportunities are actually distributed in the real world. Think about it. Access to true opportunity is almost never broadcasted on a billboard. It's whispered behind closed doors between trusted associates.
Which brings us to Section 4, cultivating intentional relationships. 3 to 5. Now that is a shockingly low number, isn't it? But that is the precise target our source material suggests for your immediate focus. You don't need to cultivate deep ties with 50 people all at once. No way. You simply need to channel your energy into identifying and nurturing relationships with just 3 to 5 key power nodes. Just 3 to 5. Suddenly, managing your network transforms from this overwhelming daily source of anxiety into a completely manageable, highly focused goal.
So, here is a highly focused, step-by-step guide to putting this into practice right now. Step 1. Map your existing network. Look back through your career history at former bosses, trusted colleagues, or academic advisors. Seriously, write their names down on a piece of paper. Step 2. From that map, identify those top 3 to 5 power nodes based on the traits of influence and deep support we just talked about. And finally, Step 3. Plan specific actions to strengthen those exact relationships.
But wait, what do we actually mean by specific actions? Look, this is absolutely not about sending a generic happy work anniversary message on LinkedIn or just mindlessly liking a post. It's about initiating a truly thoughtful conversation. It might mean, say, sending them an article directly related to a project they mentioned to you months ago, or maybe offering a specific piece of genuine help based on your own unique skills. Remember, intentional relationship cultivation is a two-way street. It requires supportive, specific actions from your end to nurture that deep tie. You are building real trust here, not just adding another row to a spreadsheet.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question ringing in your ears. Who are your top 5? Right now, if you had to look at your professional landscape, who are the 3 to 5 power nodes that are going to drive 80% of your future results? It's time to stop the exhausted networking. Start intentional cultivation. Go map your network today, find those few crucial individuals, and start offering genuine value. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.